Get ready for a whirlwind of combat sports news. Kash Patel is bringing UFC fighters to train the FBI, and we're diving deep into the UFC Vegas 114 DFS analysis. Arman Tsarukyan is dominating grappling and calling out champions. Plus, Joe Rogan is sounding off on the crazy UFC White House event. All that and more is coming your way right now on news. Don't miss a second, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell.
Looking for a fast-charging, ultra-responsive stylus for your iPad? Meet the 2X Fast Charge Active Stylus Pen, designed for 2018 to 2025 Apple iPads. Take your creativity and productivity to the next level. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
FBI agents to train with UFC champions. In a move that sounds straight out of a Hollywood script, FBI Director Kash Patel has announced a groundbreaking partnership that will see elite Ultimate Fighting Championship fighters heading to Quantico, Virginia. This historic seminar, scheduled for this weekend, will have UFC stars not just demonstrating their incredible skills, but actively training FBI agents and students. Imagine the scene. Champions like interim lightweight king Justin Gaethje, the formidable Jorge Masvidal, former middleweight champ Chris Weidman, and MMA legend Renzo Gracie sharing their combat expertise directly with the nation's top law enforcement professionals. UFC CEO Dana White expressed immense respect for the FBI, calling the partnership an incredible opportunity for athletes to support the agency's mission. This unprecedented collaboration aims to enhance the defensive techniques and preparedness of FBI agents, leveraging the discipline and physical prowess of the world's greatest fighters. The announcement comes as anticipation builds for the UFC Freedom 250 event, slated for the White House lawn in June 2026, further cementing the unique relationship between the UFC and national security initiatives. This fusion of elite athleticism and law enforcement training is already sparking buzz online, with fans hailing it as a dream team scenario and others debating the tactical advantages it could bring. But will this cross-promotional training truly enhance agent capabilities, or is it just a spectacle? And speaking of unexpected matchups, what happens when a top contender takes a side quest in Brazil? Tsarukyan dominates grappling, sets sights on UFC gold. Arman Tsarukyan, a lightweight contender known for his fierce striking, has just added another impressive submission victory to his resume, this time in a BJJ match at Hype Brazil. Facing off against former UFC flyweight contender Mohamed Makiev, Tsarukyan showcased his superior strength and technique, ultimately putting Makiev to sleep with a rear-naked choke. This victory, though labeled a side quest by Tsarukyan himself, underscores his ambition to capture UFC gold, including the coveted BMF belt. Fresh off a recent altercation at a wrestling event, Tsarukyan's foray into grappling continues to highlight his active and aggressive approach outside the octagon. He also used the platform to issue challenges, notably calling out Dylan Dannies for another grappling bout and expressing his desire to fight the new UFC BMF champion, Charles Oliveira. The event itself was a spectacle, with other UFC veterans like Bryce Mitchell and Edson Barboza participating in grappling matches that ended in draws. However, the real showstopper was the chaotic presence of UFC fighter Walter Walker, who seemingly took over the event with impromptu bare-knuckle fights and rule changes. Fans are buzzing about Tsarukyan's dominant grappling and his bold callouts, eager to see if he can translate this momentum into a UFC title run. But while Tsarukyan is busy with side quests, what are the experts saying about the upcoming fights? We've got a deep dive into the DFS analysis for UFC Vegas 114. UFC Vegas 114, your ultimate DFS breakdown. Get ready for UFC Vegas 114 with our comprehensive DFS analysis. We're breaking down every fight, giving you the top picks and strategies to dominate your fantasy lineups. From Josh Emmett's knockout power to Kevin Vallejo's all-around skill set, we're dissecting the matchups to help you make the winning plays. Will Jillian Robertson's grappling secure a submission against Amanda Lemos, or will Almer Siz's composure overcome Ian Cutelaba early chaos? We've got insights on Andre Fili versus Jose Delgado, Marwan Rahicki versus Harry Hardwick, and Vitor Petrino versus Steven Asplund, highlighting potential knockouts and submission threats. Our experts are also weighing in on Bruno Silva versus Charles Johnson, Brad Tavers versus Eric Anders, and Chris Curtis versus Miktybek Oralbai, detailing who has the edge in striking, wrestling, and overall control. Plus, we're diving into Balaji Oki versus Manuel Sousa, Lewin Lacerda versus Hecher Sosa, Bia Mesquita versus Montserrat Rendon, Elijah Smith versus Su Youngyu, Piera Rodriguez versus Sam Hughes, offering detailed DFS perspectives for each bout. We even provide the scoring breakdown for knockdowns, takedowns, and submission attempts, so you know exactly what to look for. Fans are already debating the top DFS plays, with many highlighting Oralbai's grappling dominance and Sousa's knockout potential as key targets. But with all this focus on fights and fantasy, some are questioning the timing of major UFC events. Joe Rogan is weighing in on a particularly controversial upcoming card. Joe Rogan calls UFC White House event crazy amidst global tensions. Joe Rogan, the iconic voice of the UFC and host of the Top Viewed podcast, is raising eyebrows over the planned UFC Freedom 250 event at the White House on June 14. With global tensions high, particularly in the Middle East following recent conflicts, Rogan expressed serious reservations about the timing and security implications of hosting such a high-profile event at the nation's capital. He described the idea as crazy, emphasizing the potential risks of having so many prominent figures gathered in one place during a period of international instability. Rogan is not confident that the geopolitical situation will be resolved by June, making the White House lawn a potentially vulnerable target. While Rogan stopped short of calling the event a bad idea, his commentary highlights concerns shared by many about the optics and safety of the UFC's ambitious plans. The event is set to feature a lightweight title unification bout between Ilia Topuria and Justin Gaethje, and Alex Pereira challenging for a third division title. However, the card has already faced criticism for its perceived lack of depth relative to the significant build-up. Fans are divided, with some agreeing with Rogan's concerns about security and optics, while others believe the UFC can ensure a safe and successful event. That's all the news for today, but we'll be back with more updates soon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And that's a wrap on today's top stories. We saw UFC fighters heading to Quantico to train the FBI, Armin Tsarukyan dominating in Brazil and calling out champions, a full DFS breakdown for UFC Vegas 114, and Joe Rogan questioning the timing of the White House event. If you loved this packed episode, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel for all your combat sports news, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Let us know your thoughts on these stories in the comments below, and follow us on all social media platforms for more exclusive content.